Some fighting going on at Queen's Park. Welcome back to Breakfast Television. Meredith and Sid here with you. All right, you've seen the clips throughout the morning here on BT. I think it's worth showing one more time what happened yesterday in the chambers of Queen's Park because, and I got to go back on this because Leader Stiles of the NDP is going to join Tammy Sutherland next. And Marit Stiles really got the ball rolling in terms of the Auditor General's report on the Greenbelt story with this PC provincial government, the Ethics Commission report that came out that said favors had been done for developers. It's right there in black and white. And also really getting it to the point where there's now an ongoing RCMP investigation into the Conservatives' handling of the Greenbelt in this province. 2 ministers had to resign. Their chief of staffs had to resign. This all happened under Doug Ford. To watch this play out yesterday as Bonnie Crombie comes in, current mayor of Mississauga and future full-time leader of the provincial Liberals, I was absolutely stunned. Take another look. I can't believe it's real.
Again, through you, Mr. Speaker, this is a leader that said no to removing tolls, no to scrapping the license plate stickers, no to cutting taxes. Do you know why? Do you know why? Because their leader was too busy flying around in the private jet of her buddy, the developer, that everyone knows who this developer is, and it's going to come back to haunt her, flying around in the private jet, going to her $5 million estate in the Hamptons. She's out of touch with the average person.
You know, I don't want us to be distracted because this is the Ford government's attempt to distract from the issues at hand. They are flailing. They are desperate. And tomorrow they expect a very negative Auditor General's report, so they're trying to change the channel and put the focus on me, whereas the focus should be on them.
Wow. We've seen a lot in this province the last several years. Going back to Kathleen Wynne, let's be honest here. That government was a disaster. But now this is getting to the silly season here, Mayor. Like, that exchange wasn't really an exchange, but that back and forth yesterday, what'd you make of that?
I mean, I thought her response was calm, measured, didn't sink to any kind of level. I mean, I think when you get personal like that and you start to go for that, it is distractive ultimately, and it is not really the issue at hand. And I think that is starting because there's some real fear there of what could happen and her popularity and her being able to galvanize a group that hasn't really been spoken to in the last little bit. I mean,
that brief exchange with Bonnie Crombie and the media corps who cover Queen's Park, it's one of the best in the business here. Cynthia Mulligan, Robert Benzie, Richard Southern. It's honestly, you're not going to find a better group of actual journalists and reporters than those who are at Queen's Park every day. Bonnie Crombie, that was a masterclass yesterday from Bonnie Crombie. An absolute masterclass dealing with one of the more ridiculous I'm just going to say this very clearly. Because the last time I was on air and I said, don't talk to us like we're dumb, was when the Greenbelt story was being denied left and right. People need to really start listening to me. Do not talk to us like we're dumb. And about 2 months after I said that, 2 ministers were gone from this Conservative government and their chiefs of staff. Where's Steve Clark now? Where is he now? People need to start listening to my voice on this. Ford's doing it again. That is a lazy, ridiculous argument, considering there are multiple reports that you have buddies at Buck and Doe's and weddings who are developers and everything. And there's an RCMP investigation, for goodness sake.
Well, but how?
So I'm supposed to buy this line? Boy, they think we're dumb, don't they? Boy, they think we're dumb. That was one of the more ridiculous things I've heard this premier ever say. And there's a list, but that one was at least on the podium. That's top 3. That's on the podium. Last word to you, Mayor.
Well, it almost seems ridiculous to say something like that when you know full well what is going on around you. I mean, it's bold because it obviously brings up this discussion and many discussions like it. And again, I come back to her response.
Yep. Didn't bite. Didn't bite.
She's not playing that way.
Interesting times at Queen's Park. We're going to take